On the 27th of April, 1545, a new addition was made to the public sculpture gallery on the Piazza della Signoria in the heart of Florence. It was this statue showing Perseus with the head of Medusa by Benvenuto Cellini. And in today's video, we are going to learn about this masterpiece through 10 fun facts. The statue shows the legendary mythological story of the Greek hero Perseus and the Gorgon Medusa. The story starts with Polydectes, who fell in love with Danae, the mother of Perseus. And when Polydectes gave a banquet and Perseus asked what gift he should bring, Polydectes asked for the head of Medusa, a gorgon who turned the people who looked at her into stone. Long story short, Perseus received some help from the gods to complete his mission, and we will get into these details in the next fun fact. When he finally arrived at the sleeping Medusa, he looked into his polished shield to avoid looking directly at Medusa, and he cut off her head, which he shows here triumphantly to us. The hair of Medusa consisted of venomous snakes, something that you can see back in the sculpture. And the blood is streaming down from her severed head, which you can see both in the head on the top and her neck on the body on which Perseus is standing. To defeat Medusa, several of the Olympian gods helped Perseus, and a couple of those details can be seen in this statue. He got winged sandals and a winged hat from Hermes, which you can both see here. And he carries a so-called harpy, a sword with a sickle protrusion along one edge near the tip of the blade. This sword was provided for by his father Zeus. The statue that is standing today at the Piazza della Signoria is actually the original one that was commissioned by Duke Cosimo I in 1545, and it's completely free to admire when you are in Florence. Over time, statues on this square have deteriorated due to weather, floods, or just unhappy citizens. The nearby statue of the David, for example, is a replica of the one Michelangelo originally made. And if you want to know more about this statue, just check out my previous video. The bronze statue of Cellini has stood the test of time better than some of the marble ones surrounding it. Except for an extensive cleaning and restoration by the end of the previous century, the statue has stood in the same place for almost 5 centuries now. While I just said that the statue is still the original, the pedestal on which it stands is actually not. The pedestal was also created by Cellini, and it's beautiful in its own right, showing the more refined skills of the sculptor Cellini. During the last century, the pedestal was replaced by a copy, and the originals can now be found in the Bargello Museum. On the pedestal, we can see 4 bronze statues: Hermes, Athena, Zeus, and Danae with her small son Perseus, all of whom played an important role in the mythological story of Perseus. And notice how the base is created from marble, something that showed the versatility of Cellini in various mediums. If you stand in front of the statue, it is clear that Perseus is looking down. And it was intentionally designed this way by Cellini, as the statue was designed explicitly for this place. Of the other statues in the Loggia, only the Rape of the Sabine Woman by Gian Bologna was explicitly designed for the Loggia. But the question is whether Perseus is looking down at the body of Medusa at his feet, or whether he is looking down at the people admiring him. Cellini received the commission for this statue from none other than Cosimo I de' Medici, the Duke of Florence and member of the illustrious Medici family. Like several of his illustrious Medici predecessors, Cosimo I loved arts and architecture. For example, he also commissioned the building of the Uffizi, now housing the famous Uffizi Museum, the Vasari Corridor, the completion of the Palazzo Pitti, and the Boboli Gardens. And perhaps fittingly, on the Piazza della Signoria you can also find a large equestrian statue of this Cosimo I, created by Gian Bologna. The commission for this statue came in the summer of 1545, and the end result would only publicly be revealed in April of 1554. This means that Cellini spent almost 9 years of his life working on this statue. He was already regarded by Michelangelo as the greatest goldsmith of whom we have ever heard. But he wanted more, not just be a sculptor in the shadow of Michelangelo, but one that could be at the same level as him. I'll let you be the judge. Just let me know in the comment section down below whether you are more a fan of this work by Cellini or of Michelangelo's David. Did you know that marble is a natural stone? And do you know what happened when someone looked into the eyes of Medusa? That's right, they turn into stone. So by placing this bronze statue on the Piazza della Signoria, there's a bit of irony, suggesting that all these other mythological heroes had looked perhaps in admiration at this statue, turning them all into stone. And this picture illustrates nicely how the David on the left and Hercules on the right stare in the direction of Medusa. In the 16th century, the most famous sculptor alive was Michelangelo, and he was so popular that many Italian sculptors imitated his style and techniques. He was the gold standard. And while he had produced a couple of works in bronze, he primarily worked in marble, creating large statues, often from a single large block of marble that he had selected himself. The greatest sculptor before Michelangelo was arguably Donatello, and he did like to create his sculptures in bronze. A great example is his statue of Judith, which stands in the same square as Cellini's work. However, to create a large statue with a complex pose, it usually required fusing and assembling different parts of the cast to create the final statue. And this did not compare favorably to marble statues created from a single block. Cellini tried to create his statue from as few connected pieces as possible. He ultimately managed to do it in 4 separate pieces. There is the body of Perseus, the head of Medusa, her body on top of which Perseus stands, and the sword. Quite an achievement for a bronze statue with so many parts that are sticking out. While the Medici family loved art, they also loved power and political influence. So this statue was not commissioned because they just loved this story in itself, but mainly because they wanted to send a message to the Florentines. It was them, the Medici family, who had freed the city from bad influences. And this message is underlined by the relief panel at the bottom of this statue, which shows the story of how Perseus freed the princess Andromeda from a monster. Again, a political statement on how the Medici freed Florence from the bad guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video with 10 fun facts about this spectacular bronze sculpture. If you like this 10 fun facts format, let me know in the comments below. And you may also enjoy my previous video about Michelangelo's David, or an earlier video with 10 fun facts about the Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. And of course, 10 is just a random number, and there are always more fun facts about artworks, including Cellini's statue. So if you can think of any other fun fact, feel free to share it in the comments below. And finally, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel to be alerted when new videos are released. Thanks a lot for watching.